Hello learners, this is Neha. Welcome back to our YouTube channel India's Learner. Again we are here with the NCERT Geography of Class 8. Today in this video we are going to discuss the chapter 2, that is the land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. In this part 1 of the video we are trying to cover the abiotic resources. These are the land, soil and water resources, and in the next part of the video we will discuss the biotic resources such as natural vegetation and wildlife. So let's start the video. Yes, before going to start the video, I would request you to please subscribe my channel and do like and share the video more and more with your friends and others. Thank you. Let's continue. So first we should know what are the key points of the chapter about which we will learn in this video. These are the first, land resources. Under this topic we will learn about the land resources and their use pattern, about the degradation and conservation of land. In the next topic, soil resources, we will know about the formation of soil and factors affecting it, about the soil profile, and will also understand what are the degradation and erosion of soil and its conservation. In the next topic, water resources, we will learn about the water resources and its availability on the earth and conservation. And the next part of the video, we will cover the natural vegetation, the meaning and usefulness, and distribution and conservation we will learn about. And the last not the least, about the wildlife resources. We will know its meaning and usefulness, and we also learn about the distribution and conservation. So let's continue the video. So let's start with the first topic of the chapter, that is the land resources. Let us first know what are the land resources. Land resources refers to the shape, form and nature of the land surface, about which we already learned that the land covers about 30% of the total area of Earth's surface. That means the rest 70% of the total area of Earth's surface is covered by water bodies. Next, the amazing thing is that the 90% of world population occupies only 30% of land area. The remaining 70% land area is sparsely populated or uninhabited. That means all part of land resources are not equally habitable. Why is it so? Let's know. This is due to topography of land, climate of the region, resources availability and economic development of the region. So, due to this, some regions are less habitable and some regions are highly habitable, which are the densely populated areas, plains, rivers, grasslands are some densely populated areas, while the steep slopes and waterlogged areas and mountainous areas, hot and cold regions, thick forested areas also are sparsely populated. So now let's know what is the land use and what is the land use pattern. Let's know. The different purposes such as agricultural, forestry, mining, building houses and roads, industries for which land is used is known as the land use. On what factor the use of land depends? The use of land depends on topography, climate, soil, mineral, water availability and population and technology. So, use of land depends on the topography. What is the topography? Topography means the nature of the terrain or the land area. Well-drained plain regions provide suitable condition for agricultural activities and pasture. So, such type of land use pattern attracts a huge number of people and vice versa. About the soil, types of soil is also another determining factor. Well-planned Land use pattern can be seen in the areas having the fertile soil and areas like cold and hot deserts which have the infertile soil. These are free from proper land use. Climate. Climate is very harsh in the polar or equatorial region. Thus, these areas are not suitable for cropland and pasture, whereas the areas having mild climatic condition support pasture and agricultural activities. So, this is also a determining factor. Minerals. Mineral deposits also influence the land use pattern of a place. The areas which are rich in mineral deposits are more suitable for the industrial growth. So, the land use pattern of these regions are very good. Water availability. As the water availability is very much essential for both the industrial growth and the domestic purposes also, it is very essential and used. So yes, availability of water is also very proper. Population or the human resources and technology. Both are the two sides of a coin. Human resources use technology to convert the raw material into valuable resources that fulfill the requirement of the people. Human resources along with the technology are necessary for a successful land use pattern. On the basis of ownership, the land can be divided into private or community land. What is the private land or community land? Private land is owned by individual, whereas the community land is owned by a community, also called a common property resources. Private land is owned by individual, so it is only used for the personal purposes, whereas the community land is owned by community and it can be used for the common purposes also, such as collection of fruits, grains, nuts, water, vegetable, medicinal herbs, etc. So this is also called a common property resources. Let's take the new topic, that is the degradation and conservation of land. Yes, we should also know what are the problems with the land resources, and let's find out and let's know more about the conservation of land resources also. What are the methods? Degradation of land resources. What are the threats to the land? Threats to lands are land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification, etc. So the conservation of land resources is needed. What is the conservation of land resources? It refers to the careful use or proper management of these resources so that they may continue to be used. The conservation of land resources is essential to save them for the next generation. What are the methods we should adopt? The following measures can be adopted to conserve the land resources. These are afforestation, that means more trees should be grown, land reclamation for the main uses, regulated use of fertilizers and chemical pesticides, check on overgrazing. Yes, overgrazing should be controlled. Better irrigation facilities should be provided. Conserving soil and forest, as it's also help the land resources to be continue and growth. So let's move for the next. So let us talk about the next very important resources, that is the soil resources. Under this, first we will know what is the soil. Let's go for the definition. The topmost layer of land, which is composed of greeny substance, is called soil. As the definition says that it refers to the thin layer of greeny substances covering the surface of the earth, and it is closely related to land also. And the quality of the land is also determined by its soil cover. What is it made up of? Or what does the soil made up of? It is made up of organic matter, mineral, and weather drops found on the earth. What are the key factors that are available in soil? These are the organic matter, minerals, and weather drops that found on the earth combinedly mixed up and then form the soil. Let's go for the next topic. What is the soil formation? How do the soil form? Or how does the soil formation takes place? Soil formation takes place because of weathering and deposition of rocks. So, what is weathering? Let us know. Weathering is the breaking up and decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes, frost action, plants, animals, and man. We can also say in other words soil is formed by the disintegration of rocks and decayed organic matter by living organism, water, and air. Let us know about the factors that affect the formation of the soil. The first of that is the parent rock. Parent rock is also called a bedrock. It determines color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content, and permeability of the soil. And yes, parent rock is a source of the fragmented materials that make up the soil. Next factor is the relief. Both the altitude and slope of a relief determine the soil formation in many ways. Steep slopes have thin soil layer, whereas the gentle slopes have thick and deep layers of soil. Next factor is that very much important, the climate. Climate, under this, the two important factors, like temperature and rainfall, are the most significant. These are two variables that affect the process of soil formation. Both help in decay and decomposition of parental rock. Next, the time. Time determines the thickness of the soil profile. Soil formation is not an immediate process. We should know it takes hundreds of years. Do you know? It takes hundreds of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil. Let's talk about the next important factor, flora, fauna, and microorganism. Flora and fauna, as we all know, they are considered as the nature vegetation and wildlife. Along with the microorganism, they affect the rate of humus formation. So now let's talk about what is the soil profile. The vertical arrangement of different layers of soil from topsoil surface to parent rock at a place is called soil profile. Each profile is further divided into a number of horizons. The one is a horizon A, that is called the topsoil. It contains humus and the finer particles of rocks. It is the uppermost horizon of soil profile. Yes, the humus. What is the humus? We should know. The topmost layer of the crust made up of decayed plants and dead organisms, which makes the humus content, which is very important to make the topsoil and helpful to growth of the plants. Next level is the horizon B, that is called subsoil. It lies below the topsoil and contains small rock particles, soluble minerals, and iron oxide. The next level is horizon C, which is called the weathered rock material, or in other words we can say the rock fragments. It consists the small parts of rocks that come from the parent rock. Next level is the horizon D, that is called the bedrock or the parent rock. It contains the solid unweathered rock. So this is the soil profile. Each profile has a different amount of the topsoil, subsoil, and rock material along with the parent rock. Let's talk about the next topic. So our next topic is soil degradation or the soil erosion. Both are the same term. Let us know about it first. It is the movement of soil components, especially surface litter and topsoil, from one place to another by running water, blowing wind, and slopes of the land, etc. This causes the soil erosion. Soil has certain properties such as fertility, ability to retain air, moisture that enhance the agriculture production. But when any of these soil properties is diminished or increased, soil erosion takes place. So we should know what are the factors that are responsible for causing soil erosion. These are deforestation, that means cutting down the trees and plants at large space. Overgrazing by the animals is another factor. Overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides causes the soil erosion. Rain wash, landslides and floods. These are some factors. Along with it, the human activity is also responsible for soil erosion. Their activities such as plowing and removal of natural vegetation help the wind, running water and other agents in soil erosion. So these are some factors that leads to the soil degradation or causing the problem with the soil resources. As we all know, like other resources, soil is very much important to us. So the proper use of soil has become essential because it directly affects our food related demands. So we need to conserve it. Now let us know what is the soil conservation. Soil conservation. The preservation, protection and efficient utilization of soil resources is known as the soil conservation. So the conservation of soil is important. Let us know what are the methods we can adopt to conserve the soil. Some methods are afforestation. Number 1, afforestation. Under this method, rows of trees are planted at short distances in the farms to provide the shelter bed. Next, the controlled overgrazing. Overgrazing must be checked properly. Fodder should be raised as a crop because the free movement of animals loosens soil particles. Next is the terrace farming, very much popular. This method of soil conservation is mainly used on the steep slopes. In this method, broad flat terraces are made on the steep slopes to cultivate different crops. These terraces control surface runoff and soil erosion. Next is the intercropping. In this method, different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rain wash. Next is the mulching. In this method, organic matter such as straw, grass, etc. are used to cover the bare ground between rows of plants. It has soil to retain moisture. Next is the contour barrier. This method is mainly used in the hilly areas. Grasses, stones, soil, wax, etc. are used to build contour barrier. Next is the rock dam or the construction of dam. That is important to slow down the flow of running water. Next is the contour plowing. Contour plowing, it refers to the plowing parallel to the contour of a hill slope. It forms a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope and thus it controls the soil erosion. Next is a mixed farming. So under this method, the crops are grown at the alternate times to retain the soil nutrients. Next is the shelter belt. Shelter belt. Under this method, rows of trees are planted at short distances in the farms to provide shelter belt. It's mainly used in the coastal and dry regions. So conservation of the soil is important. Let's see some pictures that shows the different methods. This is the terrace farming. How can it practice? How it's look like? We can see in the picture also contour plowing and the shelter belt. Let's move to the next topic that is very much important to us. So yes, let's talk about the water resources. That is very much important element on the earth. We have Water resources. Under this, first we will know how much water available on the Earth's surface. As we all know, about 3/4 of the Earth's surface, or the 70% of the Earth's surface, is covered with water, and rest of the 30%, or the 1/4 of the Earth's surface, is covered by land. So, because the very much part of the Earth's surface is covered by water body, so it's called the water planet or the blue planet. On the Earth, it is found in solid, liquid or gaseous forms. As you all know, it is used for various purposes such as drinking, bathing, washing, production, agricultural and power generation. So the water is very much important to us, but only about 3% is fresh water available to us, of which only 1% is easily available and suitable for human use. So let us know that we have 70% of water on the surface, but only we have 1% of fresh water that is easily available. How it is? Let us know and see the next diagram that shows the all water on Earth. This is the all water on Earth, which the 97% is in saline form and only 3% is in the freshwater form. And freshwater form, the 3% of the all water available on the Earth, of which the 68.7% covers by ice sheets and glaciers. In the mountainous regions, Greenland and Antarctica, and the fresh water of which the 30.1% covers by groundwater, 0.9% by others, and only we have 0.3% as the surface water. Surface water, of which 87 covers by lakes and 2% in the form of rivers and 11% swamps we have. So you can see that in all over the surface we have the 70% water, of which only 3% is fresh water, and surface water form is also the very less, that is only 0.3%. And yes, the water available to us only it's a 1% of this 3%. So we should conserve the water, we should save the water. So let us know what are the methods used or we can adopt to conserve the water. Let us first know what is the water conservation. Conservation of water is very much important, as we should know what is the meaning of the conservation. The word refers to the efficient utilization besides protection, resource improvement and preservation. Water conservation focuses on several issues like improvement of vegetation, cover to improve underground water, resources, rainwater harvesting, both the storage and saving wasteful surface runoff. So these are some of the methods. Following steps can be taken to conserve the water resources. What are the methods? Treatment of sewage, chemical, agricultural and industrial effluents by increasing forest and vegetation cover, so that they can slow down the surface runoff. In this way, underground water storage can be improved. By adopting the sprinkler and drip irrigation method in agriculture, especially in arid region, it is used. Recycled water should be used as a coolant in the industries also. Rainwater harvesting is a very much popular another technique of water conservation. Under this method, rainwater harvesting is the process of collection of rainwater from rooftops and directing it to an appropriate location and storing it for future use. So rainwater harvesting is a new technique and very much popular. It can be practiced at home. It can be done very easily. So we should adopt it. We should conserve the water by using the various methods. These are some pictures that shows the first is the rainwater harvesting and the next is of drip irrigation or the sprinkler. So yes, hope you like this video, and soon we will bring the next part of the video of the chapter 2 of geography. So yes, don't forget to subscribe our channel and do like and share with your friends and others more and more. Thank you.